What is the function of the clutch? Isolate the engine from the transmission. And what type of clutch are in manual transmission? It's a dry clutch. You remember? It's composed of the dry clutch is composed of the friction disc. This is the flywheel. The flywheel is bolted on the crankshaft. It's bolted on the crankshaft. In other words, the flywheel is spinning all the time with the crankshaft. And this is the friction disc. And this is the pressure plate here. And according with the pressure that you press here, this friction will be free or connected. This element will be connected with this or free, depending of the pressure that you produce here. More pressure or less pressure. How you produce that pressure?
Clutch.
With the clutch pedal. And the fork separate this. That's clear? Ah, okay. Look at this. If I don't have pressure, if this element is separated, what is the name of that element in the book? What is the name of that element?
Clutch.
You follow the video? No?
Yeah.
Never follow. This is the thrust bearing.
Oh,
Thrust bearing.
yes.
The thrust bearing, if the thrust bearing is separated, the friction is connected. In other words, because that friction plate is connected with the input shaft of the transmission, if you don't apply pressure here, the input shaft of the transmission is spinning at the same with the crankshaft of the engine. Ah, when I apply pressure here, that element is free. Is free. And the input shaft of the transmission is free, and I can change the gear. That's clear, my friends? Once again, if the bearing is pushing the pressure plate, what happened? If it's pushing, what happened with the friction? It's free.
Free.
It's free, and you can.
It's changed.
Ah, when you remove the pressure on the pedal, what happened? That
Yes.
element goes out, and this element presses and is connected. In other words, if you don't apply pressure in the clutch pedal, the transmission is connected with the engine. Only when you apply pressure in the pedal, you separate the engine from the transmission. Everybody follow me? What is the name of that clutch? What type of clutch is that? Is that dry clutch? You don't have oil here. What happens if you have oil splash here? No friction, and it's spinning. It's possible that oil here?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Because
of
the seal in the crankshaft is broken, and you have oil here in this area. What is the name of that area? The bell housing. The bell housing. The bell housing is located here. You have oil in the bell housing, and no friction. And you apply the clutch and never engage. Everybody follow me? This is the manual transmission. Finito. How many shafts you have in the manual transmission? One input shaft. Other shaft in the middle to connect this gear, and this gear, and other shaft in the output. Input shaft, lathe shaft, and output shaft. Input shaft, counter shaft, and output shaft. 3 shafts in manual transmissions. All right. Finito. No more manual transmission. No more manual transmission. Ah, excuse me. Normally, in a manual transmission, you have the thrust bearing, that one, and you have another bearing that normally is located here, where the input shaft enters. What is the name of the other bearing?
Pilot bearing.
Pilot bearing. You have a pilot bearing, part of the flywheel, and you have the thrust bearing. The thrust bearing is axial bearing. Axial, because it's moving like this.